Hello, my good people. Welcome to Take It Book Club. Today we'll be looking at chapter 9 on the book Fathers of Nation, but in a summarized bit of it. After graduating from Abdelaziz Academy in Tripoli, Libya, Engineer Saif Tahir had left Libya and gone to study weapons development at the University of Paris. Some skeptics scoffed at him. He returned from overseas, France, on the day the leader of Libya was celebrating his 20th year in power. The leader's opponents were not happy with these celebrations. Engineer Tahir dismissed them as crackpots left alone and ignored. He believed the ruler had the right vision for Libya and so was the right person to rule it. He defended the ruler. Engineer Tahir joined the Feast for Allah after his return from the overseas. In a happy coincidence, the leader of Libya adored the Feast of Allah. He gave it all the money it asked for. Al-Qaeda struck on the American soil. The leader of Libya knew America would retaliate and not necessarily with bounds of reason. He scrambled for his bases to shield Libya from America's revenge. He even dismantled the Feast of Allah itself. Engineer Tahir would have learned to live with anything but not with the dismantling of the Feast of Allah. This was the beginning of Tahir's dislike for the leader. The dismantling of the Feast of Allah was an offense so dreadful that it was eternally unforgivable. Angry beyond words, Engineer Tahir now hated the man he had once liked. No more was the leader of Libya his hero. He had become a villain. Meanwhile, dismantling of the Feast of Allah coincided with the peaking of unrelated crisis, the accident. Engineer Tahir fell in love with Rahma Mahmoud, a female member of the Feast of Allah, and Engineer Tahir's junior staff mate at the weapons laboratory. He approached her. She did not say anything. Later, she smiled and after some time, she said no. Engineer Tahir misinterpreted the sweet no to a sour no and reacted to it violently. Unwisely, he vowed to retaliate. Engineer Tahir slapped Rahma Mahmoud in the name of administering discipline to her for shedding her head vein in public, which was in violation of the Libyan culture. But the truth was, he did it to take revenge against someone who he thought had rejected his advances. Discipline, revenge, or whatever it was. In fact, Rahma did not take it lying low. She struck back and hit his left eye and slit it open. That was the accident. Engineer Tahir lost his left eye. Engineer Tahir was hospitalized and discharged after a month. Turned bitter and vengeful, Engineer Tahir took Rahma Mahmoud to court. After proceedings, they made a ruling basing on Hammurabi's verdict, that is, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. With this ruling, Rahma Mahmoud also lost her left eye through surgery. Engineer Tahir sank into deep gloom. He refused to shake it off even after friends talking to him. When they, the friends, persisted, he left Tripoli and moved east to live alone in Benghazi. There were two reasons for Engineer Tahir's gloom. One was object, forcing and lifeless. He got it after losing an eye in what he used to call the accident. The other was the effect, deep and weakening. This he got when he decided to have an artificial replacement for the eye he had lost. While at Benghazi, Engineer Tahir ran into a green-eyed stranger at a street-side cafe. The two got talking, mostly about the history of Libya. One such story was that Libya was inhabited by Phoenicians and Greeks. The other man said he was a barber. The two had long conversations about Libya. The visitor introduced himself as Mr. Tad Longway. Mr. Tad Longway described the mission that had brought him to Benghazi. Engineer Tahir enlisted on the spot.
Thanks for listening this piece from Ticket Audiobooks. Be sure to listen to other audiobooks in the list. Subscribe, push the notification bell and don't forget to share with your friends and family.